Welcome to Holistic Happy Hour. Today's topic is 28-day reset. We have 7 super facilitators that will help you along with this. And first up, we have Kimberly.
Hi there, everyone. Kimberly Marsh here, coming in from St. Augustine Beach, Florida, and we're going to be talking about the astrology and how to do a 28-day reset right now. So why a 28-day reset, you might ask? Because this is the calm between the storms. And in order for us to have the energy and to be grounded in the right frame of mind to enter the second half of this year, we got to get ourselves right. And how we do that is we do an inventory and we figure out what unhealthy habits we have that we need to change and what healthy habits that we could elaborate on and grow. 28 days, why 28 days? Well, you've probably heard a lot of psychologists and therapists, even like rehab centers. It's so usually a 28-day program because that's what science shows us, how many days it takes to change a habit. Interestingly enough, 28 days is exactly how many days it takes the moon to make its way around the earth. So that cycle is a very precious cycle to us. It links us to the power of the moon. We just had this new moon, this lovely new moon in Cancer, which was really about getting to self-care and to resonate with love and move away from fear. So we take that energy now as the sun just yesterday moved into the sign of Leo, which gives us energy, creativity, exuberance. It can help us find a little bit of joy in our lives and to, spread that joy, hopefully. The downside of Leo is that it can cause a little bit of pride, egotistical behavior. So be on the lookout for that. Don't get into any verbal entanglements. If you can, stay away from those. Now, as far as the 28 days, if we can get started sooner rather than later, that's better, because by mid-August, things are going to start heating up again. Mid-August, late August, and then September is sort of when we're going to have some real flares. The best way I can describe the energy that we're experiencing right now, which I call that calm between the storms, is if any of you are familiar with ever doing like a really intense yoga practice where your resting position was actually downward dog, and that's like where you're taking your breath and regaining your strength. That's where we're at right now. We're in a very active resting position, but this is, make no mistake, this is the calm between the storm, and this is our chance to reset ourselves. And we have a wonderful panel today with all kinds of resources to help us through this 28 days. And we'll be starting with Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Coffey with Ancestral Healing Arts. When a group like this gets together, you tend to find that we have all read the same or similar books. We've all listened to the same speakers. We know the basic spiritual principles. We know that love transforms our lives. So the time of gathering information is giving away to a time when we need to really embody and apply the truth that we've awakened to. And that's why I'm excited to be part of a 28-day reset for all of us. All of our systems, our physical, emotional, energetic, spiritual systems, needs a chance to integrate and up-level to the higher frequencies we are resonating with. So a part of an energetic emotional reset is letting ourselves off the hook, unhooking our energy from the outer world and our perceived expectations of it. So when I venture out into the world, I like to do a mindset reset. And I'll say, today I let the world off the hook from having to appease my ego. Nobody has to act in a certain way to make me happy. I don't need to take anything personally. It's very freeing. And we also need to let ourselves off the hook from anything we've done wrong in the past. Make amends where you need to, but we've all made mistakes, and only you can forgive you. So with that, I'm going to read some activating statements from Ascended Master Kuan Yin to help us get into a space within us that'll help us feel peace so we can really fully embrace a total reset. So if you would, close your eyes, and you can either repeat these statements out loud or say them silently within. And by the power of my I Am presence, I now forgive myself for every experience of suffering in my past. And by the power of my I am presence, I now forgive myself for every unresolved painful memory. By the power of my I am presence, I now forgive myself for every moment of life lost in the amnesia of my unconscious wounds. By the power of my I am presence, I now forgive myself for every addiction to unconsciously perpetuate further suffering. By the power of my I am presence, I now summon and receive the unconditional compassion that I deserve to give myself. By the power of my I am presence, I now summon the cleansing waters of my Holy Spirit to lift me from the suffering of my past. By the power of my I am presence, I now command these wounds, seen and unseen, conscious and unconscious, to now be dissolved by the holy water and light of my invincible divinity. By the power of my I am presence, I now summon and welcome my higher self to operate my awareness with radiant self-compassion every day. A new neural pathway is now created within my consciousness. Traveling along this neurological pathway, my unconditional love leads directly to the crystalline chromosome that carries my divinity, my wholeness within me. I declare that my higher self creates a new relationship with life that is filled with the blessings of happiness, love, joy, peace, and prosperity. And take in a deep breath and open your eyes. And as we transform the chaotic outer. As we reset ourselves, we help to reset the world. Namaste. And next up, we have Kristen.
Susan, that was beautiful. So I am Kristen Kurtz Coaching, and what a 28-day reset means to me is you're taking the conscious time, you're taking an amount of time that is long enough that you can make some changes. So the 28 days is a nice time to reassess and to reevaluate where things might, something's a little off. And that could be something with your health, your mental state, your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being, something in your life. And so you want to create these action steps to change. You want to create some behavior changes based on things that you want to improve. And as a coach, where I see most people fail at this is they'll take these dramatic action steps to change things. So for example, Kimberly was talking about let's get ready to get our bodies and minds in an optimal state for what's going to come. We're going to be facing some challenges, some more challenges. It's already been challenging. We thought we were kind of out of it, but we're seeing this is going to continue for a little while. So let's say someone wants to exercise and start an exercise program. I hear a lot, okay, 5 a.m., I'm going to exercise every day for 2 hours, beginning at 5 a.m., starting tomorrow. And as we know, that can set you up for failure because you may do that for a little while and feel great, but it's not going to be sustainable. So there's 3 tips that I think are great when you want to reset or reassess, have a reset program. And that is awareness, action, and accountability. So the awareness is you have awareness that you want to make a change or that you need to make a change. You know something's not quite right or you have a desire to change, you're aware of it. And as we know, awareness without action equals no results. So the second tip is action. You want to take action, and to use the exercise example, rather than saying to yourself that you're going to exercise at 5 a.m. every day for this next 28 days, how about I'll do 3 or 4 days a week activities that I love, that I enjoy. I'm going to get out there for 3 or 4 days a week and do these things. Those are smaller, doable, sustainable, enjoyable, and those are action steps that really do set you up for success. And then accountability. Accountability is a really important one. Verbalize what you want to someone, to people. It could be accountability partners that you choose in your life, your support team. It could be a coach. It could be anyone on this panel. You know, that's what we do too. We help you become accountable, and we need that. It takes a village. We're all here together in this human life. And so I'm thankful for this group, and I just wanted to share some tips on how to reset. And next up, we have Carrie.
Hi, everyone. Carrie Berkey here. I'm the author of the Free Spirit Guidebook. And in true Free Spirit fashion, I agree with Kristen in the sense that a lot of times I'll create a challenge for myself, and this is years past. It's like, I'm going to do that for the next 28 days. And I never do the same thing for 28 days. It doesn't work. You're right. You set yourself up to fail. And something I feel is important is to kind of notice that you feel different on different days over the course of 28 days. And you should learn how you can set up that challenge for yourself. So as soon as I found out it was a 28-day reset, I immediately thought about the phases of the moon. And in my book, there's a section about living by the light of the moon. And so I wanted to share a quote at the beginning here. And it says, "Darling, the moon is still the moon in all of its phases." So something for a reminder for you is that I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to show up and be at a certain level every single day. And so then when we're not, we feel like something's wrong with us. So to think about how you go through phases, but you're never any less version of yourself. So if things are going to get a little bit more challenging going forward, I think it would be really nice for you to know how you shift and how you feel during the phases of the moon. So one of the bonuses in my book is a lesson about moon charting. And so on here, you would maybe start with a new moon and you'd go around and see how you feel each day. But what you can also do is just look up to see what phase the moon is in and start then, track 28 days out. And then in here, you know, it has these little pie slices. So if you wanted, you could make yourself something like this. And I suggest sometimes that people, you know, you pick a color for maybe how you feel that day. I have one suggestion that you just leave it blank if you weren't feeling it that day, and then you pick a color you love if you were really feeling it that day. But if you can start to notice that you're not always feeling on, you're not always feeling up to it, and then you'll have a little bit more grace with yourself. As times change and times get a little bit harder, you will be able to know that, like, today is not going to be the day maybe I have the effort for that. And then you'll also know those days that you have lots of energy that you really might want to take advantage of that. So taking 28 days to really get to know yourself, to get to know your kind of ups and downs. And it's not always the same with every moon cycle. So you might like to do this more than once, see how you feel. And then you can really kind of be in tune and help feeling like you're prepared for the future. And I would suggest before you do this, I always like to say it's nice kind of at night, finding a time after the sun's gone down, check in with the phase of the moon, check in with how you felt that day. So you don't necessarily need a moon chart. You could just write the date, the phase, and then how you felt. And so I think a nice way to do that too is to center yourself first. So I just want everybody to take a moment and sit up tall, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. So I want you to feel like each inhale becomes deeper than the one before. Each exhale becomes longer than the one before. So another lesson in my book is called lunar breath. So that is left nostril breathing. So if you want to take the first 2 fingers on your right hand and close your right nostril, and just start to breathe only through your left nostril. And again, just nice deep inhales, nice long exhales. So this breath is cooling, it's calming. If you like, you can even picture like the moon above your head. And if you were doing this while you were moon charting, you could picture, you know, the shape of the moon depending on the phase it was in. And just say, I'm connecting to my energy. I'm connecting to lunar energy. And say, I live by the light of the moon and am in the flow of my life. And then you just let the right hand come down. Take some deep breaths through both nostrils. And so using that as a way to just kind of bring you into the moment, check in with your energy, connect with the moon energy, and then at the end of 28 days, reflect back, see how you feel, and then be gentler with yourself. Remind yourself that you go through phases just like the moon. Okay, I hope you enjoy your 28-day reset. Next up, we have Amanda.
Thank you so much. Oh, I love how Carrie has us always checking in with how we feel. It's such a beautiful, important thing to be able to check in with yourself and just be really present with how you're feeling and what you need. That's something that I do on the daily. So I'm an emotional freedom practitioner, and I'm going to go in just a little bit more in detail about my background. I'm also a Heal Your Life workshop facilitator and life coach based in the principles of Louise Hay. She was a mentor of mine. I'm a licensed esthetician with an emphasis on gut health and nutrition, and a holistic health practitioner, massage and body work practitioner with a huge emphasis on the mind-body connection. So I am all about mind, body, and skin healing from the inside out. And every single day I check in with myself, and the question I ask myself is, how do I want to feel? So I will stop myself in whatever I'm doing if it's not feeling good, or even if I am feeling good, and I'll just say, how do I want to feel? And then what can I do to support myself in feeling that way? And I'm just going to show you a little thing that I do sometimes, and it looks like this, and it's broken up into 2 boxes each, and I will color in 2 boxes per day, and that's 2 practices of self-love. And I love to do that for 28 days or a month or whatever it is. So that's just one little thing that's really fun for me. I love to color in the boxes and say, okay, I've done this for self-love, and now I've done this for self-love. And I would like to also talk about an incredible program that I offer my clients. And it's called the 30 Days to Healthy Living program. Of course, it can be done in 28 days. It is about healing the toxic overload of things that we put on our skin and into our body, and the thoughts that we bring into our mind. So we focus on gut health. We focus on reducing inflammation in the body, alkalining our body, and changing our habits with food. And then we also focus on what thoughts are we allowing into our minds, and how is that making us feel? So we get very present with our body. It's an amazing program that I coach twice a month in a big group from people all around the world. And it's the first and third Monday of every month. So it's 30 days, but like I said, you can do it in 28. And so I just wanted to let you know that that is a program that is available. And especially when we do that in conjunction with other types of support and help, like anybody from this panel and their amazing guidance along with this program. So I wanted to share that. And with that, I would love you to put your hands over your heart. We're going to do this kind of tapping. We're going to do the butterfly tap. It's just a tapping breathing exercise. So we're just going to breathe deep into our bellies and just let go. Breathing deep into your belly again. Feeling your tapping, being very present. Say to yourself in your mind, I nourish my body with life-giving foods. I support my mind with thoughts that make me feel good. I align my spirit with positive expectation. And thoughts and feelings that bring positive expectation. I give myself permission to pour love into myself and live with joy. Doesn't that just feel good? Affirmations, tapping the body, being super present with yourself, and allowing yourself to have the most beautiful day. And with that, I am going to pass it on to beautiful Catherine.
Thank you, Amanda. Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Heimsfeld, psychic medium and spiritual coach, and I'm very blessed to be here today to talk about our topic of 28-day reset. I thought I would do a little channeling from my guides and the ancestors to see what they have to say. And for that, I'm going to be using the Art of the Soul Oracle deck by Cheryl Yamba Rose. So we'll shuffle a little bit, put a shield around this reading, and open that channel, asking for information from the collective to help us in the next 28 days. Wow, okay, perfect card. So we have return from the underworld, engage life. And I feel like this relates to the moon energy that Carrie was talking about. It relates to karmic issues, okay, and things from our past, maybe ancestral trauma, things that maybe we've been working on all along, and we need to continue to do that work, or perhaps things that have been hidden that we have not been addressing. I see this quite a bit with clients who I work with, where they're coming in crisis during this time. So I feel like the 28-day reset is, okay, let's ground, let's cleanse, let's use some of these wonderful tools that the other practitioners have shared with us today, and get ahead of the tsunami. Let's ride this wave, you know. It's not a time to be afraid of things. And as I believe Susan said, you know, it's about acceptance and forgiveness. A lot of times those are blockages that people have to not wanting to address karmic issues, soul contracts, and really to give a concrete example of that, if you have anything unresolved with grief, if you have an unresolved relationship issue with someone, if you have a legal matter, if you have a financial matter that's unresolved, any of these things, you know, if they're not addressed, they're going to pile up. And then with certain astrological influences and collective stressors, you can feel really bogged down by that. So I feel like the message today is to go within and engage with that material, and don't be afraid, because the end result is you're going to be more free. That's the engaging life part. We want to be happy, joyous, and free. We don't want to be bogged down. And sometimes that resistance to, oh, you know, I never really addressed that bill that went to collections, or that issue with that friend that I don't speak with anymore is unresolved, or, you know, I have this coming up. This is the time. This is the time to have the conversation, to pay the bill, to make payment arrangements, and to do all the self-care and beautiful things along the way, because it's not about punishing yourself while you're doing that. It's, again, about clearing the way. And so after the 28 days, when there's more difficult influences, perhaps astrologically, and you've been taking care of these matters, you're going to be chill. You're going to be relaxed. You're going to be okay and grounded, and the eye within the storm, which I think someone else mentioned on here. So I feel like that's the message that we're getting today, is be ahead of that wave. Don't be afraid. Seek support for dealing with these issues. Rituals and those kind of things can help remove fears. And one more thing I'm being guided to say about that is, if you have a fear of any one of these issues that I mentioned, write it on a piece of paper, burn it in a fire pit or in a little bowl, light some sage to clear the energy, and then write down what you were calling in instead. You know, so if I was going to burn a fear about resolving an issue with a friend I haven't spoke to, I would write that down. I would burn it in the fire. And then I would say, I would like to have a loving, healthy exchange with my friend, and I would like resolution of this issue. Something of that nature. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. I appreciate you all and sending you lots of love and light.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you to all the speakers here today for your lessons and expertise and practices that you shared with everyone. So today, let's begin with what is reset. The concept of reset is to shut down and begin from a fresh start. In computer terms, when the computer shuts down, the random access memory gets a break. And when you restart the computer, it begins to function more efficiently. So what does it mean in human terms? So if machines needs occasional reset, something that's mechanical, which doesn't have a mind, imagine the complex human body with billions of cells constantly working without having to think about, anything at all. From sight to nerve function, to blood flow, to pressure management, to fighting diseases and many other functions. The body is constantly doing it with or without a conscious state to put in each of these different phases. If we can compare our body to the machine, I think it would be the most efficient machine. So why do we feel the need to reset the body? Consciously speaking, if everyone achieved enlightenment, then there would be less fluctuation within the mind. There would be oneness and mutual understanding, and there would be no stress at all. But we do not live in a perfect world, and there are always those ups and downs that we experience in life. The ups in life creates overwhelming joy, and the down causes fear and grief and a lot of negative reactions. So the reset is from these constant ups and downs. Nature is such a wonderful creator. It's like if we do not touch things and just let nature take its role, then even like places of disaster, it turns into wonderful forests, or nature does take over. But since we constantly input the different reactions with our mind, then we do not get this a chance to reset on a daily basis. So let's experience this through a form of meditation, and just a way to reset, not just for the 28 days, but for every day if possible. So please begin to close your eyes and just focus on your breath. Our mind is such a wonderful place, and you can imagine yourself to be anywhere. You can just find yourself anywhere. So keeping that in mind, imagine, just begin to shut down your day-to-day routine through your mind and find yourself in a very wonderful, magical paradise. That's a creation of your will. In this paradise, imagine you as an observer watching yourself. As you follow you, observe the encounters, the experience, the state of being, the emotions, the reactions. Just observe all these without you reacting to that state. Separate yourself and just be the observer. Take a notice of how you are reacting to the situations that comes in front of you, your daily situations. And also keep notice of what those reactions are rippling into. As you're observing these reactions, draw wisdom from each of the experience and allow that understanding to become your helpful tool in your day-to-day living. One can be educated and have knowledge through reading and studying, but one can only get wisdom with actually being a part of the experience. So now hold onto this feeling. And as you take one long, deep breath, slowly bring yourself back to the room. So one does not have to spend years finding a perfect paradise. If you create a meditation practice and follow it every day, maybe twice a day, you can achieve peace of mind and a pathway to wisdom from any way you may be. And you can choose to reset at any moment when you feel the urge to shut down and go within. So as a part of the daily meditation, it's like, for myself, it's like morning, maybe it's like 15 to 20 minutes. And in the evening, it could be 5 to 8 minutes. But it's a practice that I can remember for the longest time. I mean, I can go back to up to 22 years, practicing this almost on a daily basis, and even many more years before that as well. So just once we create a routine that works for you, and it just becomes a part of your living, and you don't have to think about it. You just automatically begin to start doing it. So it's important that this 28 days to get you started, and hopefully you'll create a practice that lasts your lifetime. And thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you, Dee. Please check out our website at holistichappyhour.org, where there is a special 28-day program or reset program for you, and also more information on the practitioners here.